Hello and welcome to another Facts and Dimensions Dataset Spotlight. In this video, we're going to look at population-related stats. In the system that we have, there's two schemas. We've got Demography and Pop Household Est. There is a hell of a lot more data than this available in ONS and other websites in the UK, and customers, as they know, simply have to ask for them, telling us where they are, and we'll add them in. And we're adding new tables every week. So what have we got so far? So far, we've got these tables here, and I'm going to just pick on a few in these two schemas. So first of all, ethnicity. That is the population by LSOA and ethnicity. And if I just do a distinct on those two fields, you can get an idea of the depth of the ethnicity. So you can see quite a few ethnic categories. If I add in ethnicity too, run it again, that expands out. So as you can see, 251 different ethnicities. So that's quite detailed. This data table I'm looking at the moment has 2011 census data. The 2021 census data, there isn't one by LSOA, but there is data by MSOA. And as I said earlier, there's a massive amount of data sets out there, and to have new data sets added, customers just simply ask on the forum and they get added for no charge because everyone gets access to everything we add. Anyway, let's carry on. Religion. That's by LSOA as well. Let's have a look at the depth, how many religions we've got. Okay, so we've got 59 religions, all kinds in there. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure I saw Jedi. Yep, there it is. So quite a bit of detail there. Again, that is 2011 data. Doesn't appear to be 2021 data, but it might be that it's just by a completely different format. But we can add that, no problem. So deprivation summaries. This is a really good one. This is deprivation over the years, 2019 being the latest in there so far. This is by commissioner and gives details on all these different types of deprivation. You've got the overall IMD, index of multiple deprivation. You've got income. You've got employment, education, access to health, the levels of crime, barriers to getting a house and somewhere to live, living environment rank, IDACI, that stands for income deprivation affecting children index, IDAOPI, that is index deprivation affecting older people index. So lots of good data there. Then we've got by local authority district, same thing, and local enterprise partnership, same thing, and upper tier local authorities. What's this one? Transform domain scores. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but whenever you're not sure what data is relating to, so like this one, so let me just show you. You could just go into the catalogue and look up that table. There we go. And there we've got a bit of a description and also the URL where we're getting that data from. And that's where you can read more about the data we're loading. There's also the audit table where you can find out the file that's specifically being loaded. If you go through the training playlist, that'll explain all that in more detail. What else have we got? Underlying indicators. All sorts in there. That's by LSOA as well. So housing affordability, housing in poor conditions, housing without central heating, air quality, road traffic, all kinds of stuff here. Really, really useful. The European standardized population, that's generally for use when you're doing standardized statistics. index deprivation by LSOA. This is just the ranking by LSOA. Now these ones are very useful as well. So this isn't the total population, but it's the numbers of patients registered by GP practice. It has it by gender and by age band. Now, arguably, very arguably, you could use the sort of split of population by practice or gender or age or all three and apply them to the total population figures in these other ONS datasets to try and get the total population by these groups. Of course, it'll be far from accurate because the split of people by age band across a county, say, isn't necessarily going to be exactly the same split by age band as at the GP practices, but, you know, better than nothing. Got by region, by GP practice LSOA level. Now, this is an interesting one because it has by LSOA code the population by gender and size, and the GP practice. And this is the only place I know of that has a relationship between LSOA code and GP practice code. There's another schema in our system called Ordnance Survey, where we get the Ordnance Survey shape files and turn them into geometry tables, so you can do maps. And we've generated a couple of tables using the LSOA maps, where we've stitched together the LSOAs to come up with practice shapes, and then stitch them up again to get to commissioner shapes. So it was really handy for that. Population estimates. This is sort of the population, because we've got the population from the census, and somehow they sort of estimate the population in the intervening years. So that's good. By commissioner, local authority, LSOA, MSOA. Projections. Now this is a great one. So this is actually the population projected by gender and by age and by area code for the next 25 years. So, for example, it is projected in this particular LSOA area, there will be 758 75-year-old females in the year 2038. Now, obviously, this is far from accurate. It is just a projection. But I expect that, I mean, if you go on the ONS website, go through that catalogue and go to the link to see where we get the data from, they'll explain exactly how they're actually deriving these numbers. And sure as hell, it's better than anything else, mainly because I haven't seen anything else. I'll give an example of how I use this data. Once I worked at a hospital as a data analyst, and I was asked to create a sort of capacity and demand projection tool. And the way we did it was we basically took the actual population figures by gender and age and area in our local area, the county, from the last couple of years, and we took the the referrals into outpatients for the last few years, and the outpatient appointments and the follow-up appointments, and the inpatient spells, and the number of bed days that those spells led to. So this is very rough and ready, but basically using those numbers, and even by specialty, we were able to work out the ratio from population to referral to first outpatient appointment to inpatient and bed days. And there's obviously a lot more jiggery pokery with that. But having got that basic sort of ratio from population to bed days, all we then had to do is plug in the projected population figures for the next 25 years and essentially get as good as anything the projected bed days needed by specialty for the next 25 years. And the reason they wanted that is to be able to make capital expenditure plans, because capital expenditure can be 10, 20 years of planning. Well, maybe 5 to 10 years of planning and still more years thereafter to actually build. So perhaps, I don't know, it might turn out there's going to be an awful lot of hip replacements or something in the future based on an increasing elderly population. Should we just expand the hospital wing that looks after that, or should we build an extra function in the area, in the town, that specialises in hip replacement? I'm just making this up, obviously, but that is why it's so useful. Then you've got the same by local authority as well. So that's all the demography ones. We've also got another schema. By the way, when I'm scrolling through this, there's a hell of a lot more data in facts and dimensions than this. This is just stuff that I've actually exposed for these demos. So each demo I do, this will actually get bigger and bigger probably. And actually, just before the video, I did add in the population ones. Where are they? I'll just add them now then, shall I? Let's do that. Execute. There's another in the tutorial that tells you how to do this, but you'll get to watch me do it now. Okay, just run that procedure to get that extra schema added. Refresh. There we go. And so we've got a few more tables here. This is a load of data that came out when the census came out, and they call it population household estimate. There is absolutely tons of other data on the ONS website, and please just ask us to add them. We add them for all customers. You don't have to pay to ask for new stuff. So you've got census data by county, households with at least one resident. That's a useful one. Non-UK short-term residents, that could be useful for some reasons. Resident in different age groups, 5 and single year of age. Really, really handy stuff. Actually, going back to demography, I think I forgot to mention a couple. With the GP practice ones, you've got by single age, and by 5-year age band, and by LSOA. It's very, very detailed population. These ones actually get updated every month. The GP population ones, so good. So you can get a really good trend. They go back quite many, many years as well. Yeah, I think that's about enough. Any more queries about we want us to add some more stuff, just ask. Thanks.